today will be featuring Big Drum. It is something that we wanted to do a long time ago, and I'm happy that we're doing it today. So tell us your name and a bit about you.
So I'm Susan Duncan, if you want to call my family name. My grandmother is Lucienne Tanti Duncan. I grew up on the hill. We can't see the house up here, but I start from very humble beginning. We grew up in the guava. That's why they call us guava gals. That's why we embrace our guava gals. And I left Carriacou when I was 12 years old, but I always remember my hometown, my home island, my piece of paradise, as I like to call it.
Nice.
I went to the U.S. because, you know, my mom went there. She wanted a better life for us. Stayed in the U.S. for a while because I couldn't afford to come back home. But once I was able to, Carriacou was the first spot that I made it in 1998. I remember it like yesterday. And from then on, I fell right back in love with my little piece of paradise. I don't know, I think everybody know my grandmother. She is Tanti, as I said, everybody call her Tanti, but Lucienne Duncan, the best that ever did it in the game. I remember being young. Everybody called me her handbag, and she's taken me with her in all of her dances. Wherever there was a fete, I remember there was a big drum at the end of the fete, and Tanti would dance like, I think my earliest memory, I was born in the 70s, so my earliest memory was about 4 and 5, and she would just send us into the ring, and it was like we'll start and we'll wind down to the ground and wind back up, and she was like, go in the thing, and you know, I just started looking at her, looking how she moved, and I remember my grandmother was my everything. You know, my mom might get mad, but I love my mom too, Phyllis, but my grandmother was my everything, and I wanted to be so much like her. That everything that she did, I wanted to imitate. So I started learning the dances, and then eventually she started, you know, taking me and putting me in the ring to learn all of the cud, the alley cud, the calendar. I remember my grandmother being so light on her feet. When Tanti dance, it's like you're looking at somebody just floating in the air, and I wanted to be that. I danced until I was 12. I went to the state, but as you know, my sisters said, you could take the girl out to Carriacou, but you can't take the Duncan out of the girl. And the Duncan is the Duncan blood. It's the big drum blood. It's like, for me, every time I hear a drum, it's like something just uproot in me. I always say it's like Tanti's spirit is back in me, and all I want to do is just dance and just make her proud.
Nice. Yes. My next question was going to be, I've seen you dance Big Drum, yes, and it seems like you have it naturally. So I was going to ask you to speak about that, but now I know you get it from Grandma.
Yes, I did. I get it from Grandma, watching Grandma, and I think that all of us have a piece of her, right? She was such a, when I talk about her, I get teary because she was such a wonderful person. We talk about her, you know, I came here with my sisters and them, and we talk about all the time how she raised all of her grandkids in the hill. We went up yesterday to visit the little house, that house, 12 kids, and we didn't want for anything. Nice. We didn't feel like we were missing anything. We didn't know that we came from humble beginnings, and all 12 of us in that house were filled with love, was filled with protection. Everybody know when Tanti said band in order, and she didn't even care if it was her grandkids. Band was in order. It was all the kids in the village. Better all gather up, and we all better walk up that hill, because if she looked back, she always walked with a cane. Even though she was a dancer, she walked with a cane. It wasn't until years later I realized the cane was a weapon.
Basically, as a guava boy, you remember that?
Yeah.
You're joking that she speak a book there, look around to see if Tanti coming in. No, that is she spoke what I would have said, but great, she's doing the talking, but I'm in the background and saying, lad, so she letting out all the secret boy.
The famous Lucienne Duncan.
The famous Lucienne Duncan.
I remember viewing a Lomax documentary and seeing her, well, it was her tombstone, I believe.
Yes.
Right.
2009, we came back to do a tombstone, and they have done a book on her. So right. I don't know if you guys remember Lorna. Lorna, this lady that came back like in the 80s to do a documentary on Tanti. So my grandmother never liked pictures. As as vibrant and dancing as she was, the only pictures that you would see of her is when she was dancing. So I remember Lorna coming up on the hill and trying to take a picture, and she said, what are you trying to take my picture for? Right? So from then, they saw her. So Lomax wanted to document the whole big drum culture in Carriacou and realized that she was the queen of big drum.
Of course she
that
was.
she was the one that was the face of big drum. So they documented a whole tombstone. We had it in her foundation because culture says that you have to do it where the person is. So we did it in her foundation up on the hill, and they documented everything, and her kids and her grandkids dance and try to, keep the culture.
I remember seeing you
going.
dance, Susie,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, she can dance.
Yes, it's my grandmother blood, I like to say. When I dance, honestly, and I like to tell people, when I dance, I feel like her spirit is in me. Like I feel like she is part of me, and she is always going to be a part of me as long as I have breath.
Yes.
She will be a part of me, and I think that when I dance, it's like she takes over. Just like even last night, when for my birthday, when string band was playing, at one point I felt like Tanti presence, like she was there, and it was just me moving, but it was her moving me. And it's people wouldn't understand, but it's just she was so deep into her kids and her grandkids and any kid in that village. She raised the kids. She was a mothering mother that don't mess. Everybody was hers.
Do you remember what period she danced?
She danced, I think Tanti, from what I remember, because I was born in the 70s, Tanti was dancing since she was a kid, right? But she come to her prime when she was in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then when big drum started getting notorious with Winston Flurry was bringing them abroad to dance with to the presidents, because story have it that my grandmother and Winston Flurry group danced for all of the president from Nixon down, right? They went into the White House to dance, so they was bringing big drum to the world. Before in the 50s, we were just doing it as part of culture. But then when big drum started getting into the world, England, America, that I remember was like in the 80s, late 70s, 80s, because that's how my mom went to America and decided that she wanted a better life and stayed there. So it was in the 70s and 80s that big drum was starting to be to the world, before it was our secret culture.
Besides Winston Flurry, who were some of the other people she danced with?
So I remember May Fortune, that was Tanti, her sister Sweet Honey, right? I remember Irene. I think she recently passed in the old age house.
Fortune.
Those were the people that Tanti I remember as a kid. That she's going around with and dancing with and making sure that the culture stayed alive. Right? They sing their own song.
Nice.
They kept the culture. From what I know of big drum, they said it was like 13 tribe. So every song, right, really? And every dance have a tribe from Africa. So yes.
My next question was going to be, do you know what tribe you belong to?
I think that, Tanti was a warrior. So I would say we come from the Calendar tribe, right?
Oh.
When, that's why her favorite song was in my own native land.
That's why it was.
Calendar, yes. So when she died, the reason why when she died, Basie and them didn't even realize. They came into the cemetery and they start playing that song, right? My mother said when she touched down into Carriacou, she wanted to play in my own native land, right? And then they start playing that, and at her grave, everybody just started dancing, right? At her gravesite when we were burying her, because my grandmother lived a long life. Yes. She was 92 when she died, and I think she was ready.
Wow.
She didn't suffer. Nothing happened. I don't think that she would ever suffer because she was so good in her heart. And believe it or not, well, she was born in July, not August. I was going to say she was a Leo, but she's not. She's a Cancer.
Okay.
Right? But she was, it was beautiful. They was playing in my own, so I think we come from the Calendar tribe. You understand? That warrior-ish, the fighting, you know. When you see the calendar, you challenging other tribe to come and take what you have, but you're not going to give it to them.
What year she died?
She died in 2007.
2007.
Yes.
Basie, I saw you nodding your head. You have something to say.
I've got one chance to say. I can't steal the moment and say. But I know she was from the Kalindas tribe because Mr. Winston T. Fleury came to a company.
Okay.
And there was shot of a drummer. And Tanti comes, she said, "Come here, boy. You could play." I said, "Well, Tanti, no, I can't play." She said, "Come here."
Yep.
First thing she did was to soak my fingers in Jackayan. And they sat the drum in front of me, and Mr. Fleury says, "We're going to do a Kalinda piece." I can't remember what was the name, but if Susan said the name now, I'll tell you. But it's, of course, I'm just winding up in my own native land.
Yeah.
And he showed me how to make that beat, whatsoever the beat is. And I just hold that there. And when Tanti flew out, I was a drummer.
Yep.
And you could see the warrior in she. Of course, that is she thing. She always, well, listen, I could talk about Tanti for the next 100 years to come. Because she was a dancer. When she danced, they say she had made fortune and them, they above the ground. Yeah, you saw Susan's feet last night. I saw he was videoing that. Yeah.
Of course.
That glide in there. The next one who could have danced similar to Tanti was the same Jella.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So of course I could say hundreds, but I know she was from the Kalinda tribe.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for people who do not know what Big Drum is about, would you mind explaining?
So I think Big Drum come from Africa. When the slaves come over, that's how the African honor their ancestor, right? They dance. They in Africa they had like the barter system where they, fight with each other. So every song tells about a tribe that came over to Carriacou or to Grenada.
Right.
And that culture was kept in Carriacou. And from reading and understanding other Caribbean islands, apparently Carriacou was the one that kept it up the most, right? So in Carriacou, we kept all of the culture from Africa. We beat drums, we dance, we hail the ancestry that came before us, we honor the ancestors that come before us. I love, to see that culture get, promoted with the other generation, because I feel like we kind of dying down on the culture and we're not honoring the people that came before us.
Right.
And that's Big Drum.
Yes.
It's for those honoring your ancestry, your blood, your lineage, your line, the people that came before you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as you rightly said, it started from since the days, the plantation days.
Plantation days.
And it is said that based on the way you dance, one can know the tribe you belong
from.
Because beating drums during the days of plantation was a way that they rebelled
against
the masters.
Yes.
Exactly. Basically, I want you to speak about the different types of drum and big drum dance.
If I, there is well, of course, the cut drum. That's the one that stands out among the rest. Yeah. So there's the bulo, if I get it right, the bulo and the bula. So that's the two bass drums on the end, and they have different songs. Yeah.
They do.
They completely different to one another, the bule and the bula. But the cut drum, that is the one in the middle. That's the one that sends you crazy. That once your nation has been played, guarantee if you're dead, you will get up.
Which was the one that Winston Fleury played?
That was the same. He played all the drums, but when he gets on that cut drum, with that little piece of, when you put that 3 pin,
that's what I wanted you to say.
And that's it. I mean, Sugar Patch again, Old Star, what in that plays well. Uncle in Mount Royal. They are the Star Wars locks in.
Gift and remember Gift and
my cousin
Alfred. Alfred from
course,
Jella, they
yeah.
all played the drums.
Of course.
Yes.
Prince Lawrence.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, you're talking like you're not sure.
Yes.
But they say the greatest big drum player on cut drum was Daniel
Hickins.
Yeah, that he was the master of all masters.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Sugar Adams is the one that took it to another level.
He did.
And then Winston Fury took it to that
the next
level.
level.
Of course.
Yeah.
Winston Ferry brought it to the world.
To the
Yes.
world.
And that's what he did. He brought it to the world.
Yeah, hats off to that maestro.
I had some to him because he
rest
made
in
big
eternal
jump. I mean,
peace.
to the queens.
Of course.
Exactly.
You know, little
to
Carrico
Buckingham
was
Palace.
dancing in Buckingham Palace
Yeah.
and in the White House.
Yeah, Tanti
That's what
went
he
to
did.
Buckingham Palace.
Yep.
Imagine we had social media in those days.
I know.
Are you joking,
I know.
man?
I know.
Yeah.
Carrico,
Imagine we had you in those days.
Carrico to the world.
Carrico to the world.
So while we speak about Carrico, is there anything else you want to speak about Big Drum?
No, that's it.
That's it?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, so you came here to celebrate your
Yes.
birthday.
Yes.
Why did you choose Carrico? I
So-
mean, this is where you were born, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't do that.
I know.
Why did you?
So, like I said, Carrico is a piece of my paradise. I've traveled a lot of islands. I've traveled a lot. I do a lot of traveling. Every time I come here, I feel like Carrico is just paradise. It's untouched. It's authentic. The people are like no other people in the world. And I'm just being real, not because I was born here. The land, the greenness, the water, the blue, the crystal clear. And COVID happened and we were always grounded for a while. It let us get into perspective to think what was important to us and what wasn't important to us. And I felt like I needed to come back to my home and give back to my community. I could have gone anywhere and pumped my money into that economy, but I think every economy right now, no matter if you're a third world country or you're a top tier country, has suffered during COVID. So I'm not a millionaire, but Carrico is where I want to give my money, and that's the reason why I came back. And also I'm selfish because I get to enjoy all of this, right? I get to enjoy all of that. I get personal string bands for my birthday. You know, the people that I grew up with, some of them in the guava, some of them right in 6 rows like Leftist, Basie. These are childhood friends that if I come home, I don't have to say 2 things. I give them last minute, whatever.
The
And
same day.
You know, the same day. They might cut me up and give me some words, right? Or tell me, I hear it from people out in the streets, but they come in loads and it's family. Right? No matter if you're blood or not, Carrico is family.
Exactly.
And that's the reason why I came home. And I came home with my sisters because they also
Before you speak about that, last night I
Yes.
remember you saying, Whitefoot girls and Whitefoot boys of the guava.
Yes. So up on the hill, we have the whitest dust. I mean, chalk. And you know, you could tell the tribe by being a gajon. You could tell where you come from the chalk. That when you're going down, your foot white, you don't even know your foot is white. Because you're in that dust, you play with that dust, and you're going to school. We all went to Hillsborough School. We all walked down, and you could tell all the guava gals and all the guava boys because of the white foot. And when we went up there again, I still looked at the dust under the house, and I said, "This dust is still white." Chalk white.
Yes.
But talking about also going up on the hill, every time I come home, I go and stop by my grandmother's grave and I go up on the hill and I meet the truck on the hill. And it's very humbling, right? I think that in order for you to be who you are, you have to remember where you come from. And a lot of people forget where they come from because Carrico is not as popular right now. I think Carrico is going to be for the world because of people like you that posted on Facebook and have your show and
Paradise
highlight.
Beach.
Exactly, and highlight. And then all of a sudden I'm reading and my little piece of paradise, Paradise Beach, is the #1 beach. And I'm not going to say the Caribbean, I'm going to say the world. Okay? As per USA Today.
Yes.
He destroys top 10 beaches and Carrico, Paradise Beach, of course. We come in first place right here.
And you know, we have hidden treasures in Carriacou, right? And you know, the one thing I don't want is that authenticity of Carriacou leave. Like, because more people will come and then they will water it down because they want the spa and they wanted this. Like, the simpleness of the island is what makes the island beautiful.
That's true.
The people is what make the island beautiful. You don't need that much to have a good time.
Exactly.
And I could tell you, I had the best birthday that I've ever had in a very long time. It's nothing better than having your friends who are well known. They could be going anywhere because the string band goes everywhere, but they come and serenade you for your birthday and you take the culture that you grew up with, wet in the ground.
Long live, yeah. 100 more birthdays to come. Yeah, we say you stay as sweet as you are. Our boys. We say hip hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip hip. Hooray!
You know, asking God for long life for you. There's nothing else better than that. Nothing else better.
All right, so tell us about your sisters now.
So I wanted, so I have friends, and I love my friends, but every birthday trip, I come with my best friends. I think God gave sisters because sisters are your best friends. When you're growing up, you don't realize how important family is, but I think that family is the foundation for everything. And family doesn't necessarily mean blood, right? Because basically don't know that I think he's one of my biggest brother, right? Or younger brother. He might be younger than me, but you know, he act bigger.
He's a woman, so that's your big brother.
But you know, we all grew up playing in Madra, playing, you know, wrong ball, playing cricket, using the rolling wheel to do everything every day.
Every game in the 80s we played.
We played.
You was a girl or a boy.
A boy, you play together. The village kid come together and you play, and everybody from 6 rows come up like a gang, right?
Nice.
We come up together. There was no fighting like we know fighting now. There was no camaraderie. We know cousin Clem kids. We know Sylvia kids. We know cousin Nasia kids. Everybody come up together as one.
Exactly.
In America, it's my sisters, right? They're my best friends. As I get older, I realize that family is everything, and that family doesn't necessarily mean blood family. Also, it means whoever is that important aspect in your life.
Exactly.
It's holding back to who the people are that make you who you are.
So call the names.
We have Esmond, that now they call her Julie, Diva, whatever you want to call her. We have Bunton, also known as Maria, that's the American name. And then we have Val, Val stayed authentic. And in the back there we have Boneless, which is our uncle.
Old chicken bone.
Own chicken bone.
Yeah.
It's our uncle who's been there from number one. Whenever we come here, no matter what, we go back to family.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
An original guava. He was the original. He left the guava for us.
Yeah.
You have to still thank Mr. and Mrs. Adams for using the place for the interview. But we'll be coming to y'all just now. You all have to speak about your experience in Carriacou. If you all had a good time or not, right? Every time we go live, I often see Maria Duncan sharing Maria Duncan live. So I was going through Facebook and I saw a story from Maria Duncan. She was on Paradise Beach. So you, Maria?
Yes, I am. I am the one and only.
What you doing
And
in
you're
Carriacou?
right. Every time you guys come on live, I'm right there. I get the notification, and I'd be so happy. I'd be at work, whatever it is I'm doing. I'm like, ooh, Explore Carriacou is on. I got to see what's going on. What are they doing now?
Nice. So what are you doing in Carriacou?
I'm in Carriacou because one, Carriacou is home. But two, we are here celebrating my sister's birthday, which was last night. And I must tell you that it feels so good to be home. I'm having the most awesome time in Carriacou. This is one of my best trips.
How was the birthday? How was the experience?
Oh, it was very, very beautiful. Because one of the things I experienced, which I've never experienced, even though I grew up in Carriacou, I got the opportunity to go to Sandy Island for the first time. And it was just gorgeous. I'm like, wow. I grew up here and I never had the opportunity to visit it. So when I did, I was like, yes. Just makes me realize that I have to come back again.
Nice.
So I can visit. And then we also went to Ansler Roach. yesterday, which is where the actual birthday celebration was. Oh, what a beauty.
Nice.
It was awesome. The food, because I am a seafood girl. And the lobster, I had 2 lobsters.
So I guess I went to Tim's place.
Yes, we were at Tim's place, and he accommodated us very well.
Nice.
The food was to die for. I mean, literally. There are no words to
Nice.
explain and express how good that lobster. There were other things, but I didn't eat the other things. I was more concentrating on the lobster.
Nice. So, last question. For someone who have not been to Carriacou, what will you say to them?
Oh, come on down. Find out the JetBlue schedule, the Osprey schedule, and come on down to this beautiful gem. It is a gem. Beautiful, white, pristine beaches. The water is crystal clear. It looks like aqua. The people are friendly, and we are like family when you come down. So come on down and visit Carriacou. Come and pump some money into the economy. You will not regret it.
Thank you. Right. Susan, we said a lot. Did we leave out anything?
I don't think we leave out anything, but if you ever thinking about a nice little vacation spot, Carriacou is the place for you. Carriacou is part of a tri-island. There's Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. If you don't do anything, put it on your bucket list. Carriacou, #1 beach, Paradise Beach. As per USA Today, you don't want to go anywhere. Paradise is gorgeous, but Carriacou itself is a piece of paradise.
Exactly. And when you're on a vacation in Carriacou, if you want adventure, then check us out.
Yes.
Carriacou Entertainment Plaza or Explore Carriacou and Petit Martinique will take you from here to wherever you want to be. If you want to go on an off-road trip, Wrangler trip, Explore Carriacou and Petit Martinique, contact myself, Rena, at 533-0825 or Basie at
423-6391. Let me see that Explore Carriacou sign on your, what side it is?
Explore Carriacou. It's right here.
Right, okay.
And the Carriacou Entertainment Plus is right here. So we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, so continue following us. We want to thank Instagram.
Yes.
Susie, you said a lot,
Thank
and
you
we
for
really
having me.
want to thank you for a great and excellent interview.
Thank you
Man,
so much for having me, and thank you for continue doing what you're doing.
Man.
You and everybody else that put Carriacou to the
you
world.
see? Not only can she dance, but she can speak as well. That's our ambassador, and that is where white foot guava girl.
Yes, white foot. Yes,
Gal.
guava gal, original. Yes,
That Tanti girl.
Tanti.
And I Tanti boy.
yes.
Tanti will be very, very proud of you all.
Oh,
Yes.
Wow.
will be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Susie, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.